Hola and welcome to Lindita's Kitchen. I am Lindita and today we're going to be making some stacked enchiladas and some awesome sides. I'm going to be using the ground beef, but you can also use like ground turkey. And for those vegetarians that are out there, there's plant-based options too. So it's a full show, so let's get started. Okay, I've already started with my Dutch oven, which I just love. If you have a large skillet, but this is perfect for this recipe. And I have it on low. So, and it's been on for about a couple minutes. So I'm gonna start out with my meat, my ground beef. And I also leave the ground beef out for just a couple minutes before I cook it up, just because it breaks up easy and it cooks, for some reason, it cooks a little faster. So we're gonna just toss it in there, break it up. And like I said, you can use ground beef for this or buffalo. Your preference. All right. Let's break it up a little bit. I'm going to wash my hands here real quick. Okay. I'm going to set this aside. So we're going to go ahead and just let this cook up for a little bit. Yeah, break it up some more. I'm gonna put the cover on it for a little bit just to cook it up faster. Okay, so I went ahead and turned up the heat, and now we're gonna take the lid off and see where it's at. And that looks pretty darn good. This is what you want to do, right? Like this. The meat will cook up a little bit more. And I love my Dutch oven. I'm telling you, I cook so much with it. It's a good investment. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. So, you know, we've got some extra juices in there. I'm gonna, let me just drain a little bit of it out. And on my last episode, I think I showed you too, when I was removing some of the juices or this is a good way to do it because you're gonna need some in there. So now I'm just gonna take it out. Get rid of that. All right, so now this is when I go ahead and add 1 ounce of Lindita salsa mix. And we're gonna cook it up with the meat. Yeah. We're gonna add a half a teaspoon of the table salt. That's what you do. Mix it up. Because Linditas, we don't have any sodium in the salsa mix spice pack. So that's why we're adding the table salt to that. And then next, what you want to do is add maybe a little pinch of pepper. And now we're going to go ahead and add 2 tablespoons of the flour. I like that sound. So we're gonna coat this really nice. Get all your meat coated. It looks a little dry now, but it's okay. We're gonna add some liquids here in a few. Yeah, kind of makes like a little gravy base when you do that. And we're gonna go ahead and add some milk. We're gonna use a cup of milk. And it's gonna give it that gravy that we want, that texture. Because this will thicken up. And at that time, this is a perfect time to go ahead and add, I'm adding 4 ounces of the green chili, roasted green chili, and I have this actually from Nick's Garden Center. And if you don't have the fresh roasted, you know, you can always use the canned diced chilies as well. See, it's starting to bubble up a little bit. And now we're gonna add 1 large tomato, diced tomato. Oh yeah. So it's starting to get bubbly, you can hear it. Let me see. It's still on a medium heat. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. And then it starts to bubble. So it's starting to thicken up. And if it gets too thick as you're cooking it, you can always add a little bit more milk, or just add some water to it to kind of give it a little bit more liquid in there so it doesn't get too dry, because it will once it starts bubbling. And then it makes it easier to also spread on your tortillas. In saying that, I'm going to go ahead and just add a little bit of water. Just to give it a little bit more liquid, just like that. And just use your kind of eyeball it, as I would say. Perfect. We'll let it bubble up a little bit, and then we'll bring it over and start stacking them. Okay, so it's nice and bubbly, and it was on a medium to low heat. So this is ready to go. What I'm gonna do is just turn it off for a couple minutes, let it sit for a little bit, and then we'll get everything started. Okay, so now in a 9x13 baking dish is what you want. We want to coat the bottom. We're gonna spray it just a little like that. And that's easy. Then we're gonna start our process. Okay, so we're gonna get started, and we're gonna do four corn tortillas on the bottom. We're gonna kind of bring them up a little bit to give it a little layer like that. So you can see what I'm talking about. And now I'm gonna take the fifth one, because you'll need 5 corn tortillas for this, and I'm just gonna cheat a little bit, just like that. Just to make it into like a casserole dish. And again, for those that, if you're single and you want to do this individual, you can stack them individually as well. But I'm going to go ahead and do this right now, just like that. We're going to start pouring about 1/4 of a cup per corn tortilla. Let's see. Yeah. And I already started my oven. I'm preheating it right now at 350. So you know. And then we're gonna bake it for about 30 minutes. And then we'll go through that process when we get there. So usually how I can, I just take like half of the recipe from the skillet and then just pour it in, so that way I have enough for the rest. Okay, and then if you have more, you can always just fill in the top. So with that, then we're gonna go ahead and add our cheese. So, and it's about 2 cups, but you can always go a little heavy if you want. We love our cheese in this household, I'll tell you what. Nice and cheesy. So let's repeat that process again. Let's see. Oh, the aromas are just amazing. Just wait till you make this recipe. Your family's gonna love it as well. Like I said, let's cheat a little bit. Or you could do 2 more. I mean, that's totally up to you. I just do it like this. This is my way of doing it. Let's see. Now we're gonna add the remainder. And with these tortillas, the nice thing about this recipe, just helpful little hints here, but you don't have to dip them in oil or anything like that. You don't have to, like enchiladas, usually you do. You have to put them in, oil to cook them up. But in this case, for this recipe, you don't. And you'll see, once you make it, you won't need that. I'm getting down to the bottom. Whoa. Just like that. Oh, I see some spots in there. And get to your edges. And then once it starts cooking, it'll be boiling over. It'll be fine. It'll be great. You'll see. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and use our cheese. I think I've got it all. Oops, I lied. A little bit more. Now we're gonna use the rest of our cheese. Mexican, it's a Mexican grated cheese. So you have a variety of different cheeses. Get it at your local grocery store. And it's just what you need. And I would say about 2 cups. I measured out a little over 2 because we're cheesy people. That's why. Okay. And then I'm gonna go ahead and foil it. Just cover it just like that. Perfect. Now we're gonna toss it in the oven. What? At 350 for 30 minutes. Let's do it. Okay, my oven is ready to go at 350. Let's toss this baby in there. Yeah, right in the middle. You want the middle of the oven right there for a full cook. So while that is cooking, let's get started on some side dishes. Okay, so now for the Spanish rice, this is what you're gonna need. 1 clove. I've got a big one here. I know, but we love garlic. So yeah, if you don't have a molcajete like I'm gonna be using right here, you can get a little mincer, and if you can find one big enough to fit this one, just kidding, you can cut it up and then stick it in there. And if you don't have one of those, just go ahead and chop it up, no? So let's start with our garlic. We're gonna mash it in a molcajete. And I use my molcajete, like I said, in almost every show that I do use it, because it reminds me of home. Reminds me of my mamacita, mi abuelitas, mis hermanas, my sisters, and my nieces, of course, all of them. So, yeah, this is a big garlic. And the sounds, can you imagine being in the kitchen with a bunch of ladies and they're all like cooking it away with their molcajetes and singing and dancing? Brings back a lot of wonderful memories. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add a little bit of water just to remove it from the stone here in my molcajete. I'm gonna it's ready to go. So I'm gonna put this to the side, and then next what I wanna do is I'm gonna do 1/4 of an onion. So again, we're gonna go ahead and you can have, I like them kind of thick, the diced. So about 1/4 of a cup. So I'm gonna eyeball it because this is what I usually do. Así. Oh, yeah. And again, if you want to, you can always chop them up a little bit more. Así. Okay, I'm gonna set this aside. Oops, there's a big one right there. So I'm gonna set that aside. Go ahead and put it in my bowl. And then next, my tomato, and you're gonna need 1 fresh tomato for this. I've just removed the top, and we use all of it. I mean, there's nothing that my mother used to say, híjole, use the whole tomato. You don't have to cut out the core or anything like that. Okay. Un tomate, fresh tomato. Put it to the side. Yeah. And of course, when you get to the bottom, you can just go ahead and just dice those up. There's a big chunk right there. Perfect. We're gonna go ahead and get it ready to add to our Spanish rice. Okay, so let's do it. Let's start it up. Okay, my timer just went off, so I'm gonna pull this out and see where we're at. Let's bring it up here, take a look. I wanna take the foil off. Ooh la la, that looks beautiful. So what we wanna do is I'm gonna put it back in for another, I'd say about 8 minutes, and get the top a little more golden brown, and it'll be ready to go. So I'm gonna pop it back in. I'm gonna set the timer, 5 to 8 minutes, let's just say. There we go. So I have my skillet turned up a little bit because I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of the olive oil right in there. Okay, so we're gonna swirl it around. Yeah, just like that. And what we actually want to do with this, I would test it to have it really hot, but in this case, we're not going to do that. We're just going to go ahead and add our cumin seeds, and we're going to get that toasted up, okay, with the oil, just like that. All right, so now we're going to stir it up. Yeah, we're going to let them cook up. And this is the way my mi abuelita and my mom used to start out their Spanish rice. They're with their cumin seed. And if you don't have cumin seed, you can always add the cumin after everything starts cooking as well. You don't want to put the cumin powder in before. So now, I'm gonna stir it up a little bit, get them brown. Cooking up. I think they're ready. We're gonna add 1 cup of the long grain rice. And we're gonna brown it. You're gonna just keep stirring it because it does get brown, and you don't want this to burn, that's for sure, because then you have to start all over. And I think I've said that before, where I've done that when you get kind of distracted. Don't answer the phone right now. So that's cooking up, and I still have it on a kind of like a medium high. And like I said, you don't want it to overcook, so you have to constantly move it around. And then slowly we're gonna add our water to it, and you want about 3 cups of water. And this is warm water, but then again, you have to be really careful because that's what it'll do. So you don't want to just throw it in there really fast. Okay, we're gonna go. Yeah. So now you see the cumin seeds are all up here. So now what you want to do is go ahead and add your bouillon here. And I'm using the Knorr flavor. It's a chicken and tomato base. So that's what you need. And then we're going to add our onion. And I used a quarter of a cup of onion, fresh onion. So we're just throwing in all our ingredients. And then our tomato, fresh tomato. Yep. We can't forget our garlic. Yep. And of course, we're going to add about a cup of Linditas, and this is the mild salsa. We're going to go ahead and add it just for that extra kick. This is optional, and we love it, and you're going to love it too. And then last but not least is our peas, our sweet peas, and these are frozen. So you want to go ahead and it's about a cup. Or a vegetable, any other vegetable, but traditionally we use the green pea. We're gonna bring it to a boil, okay? Stir it up. We're gonna bring it to a boil. And then we're gonna cover it. And that's gonna go for about, let's say 8 to 10 minutes. And then I lied. No, it's more like 18. 18 to 20 minutes this will cook. But then we're gonna be checking on it because you don't also want it to dry, because what happens is if it evaporates, it'll burn. So you wanna make sure you keep some water on the side. We're gonna go ahead and cover it right now, and we'll bring it to a boil. Let's check to see how it's coming along. Oh yeah, that looks beautiful. Oh, perfect. Let's close this up. And then what you want is let it sit out for a little bit, but if you don't want it to dry up too much more, go ahead and refoil it and it'll be ready for dinner. And we'll set it up in a minute. That looks beautiful. Let's cover it up. We'll let it sit. So again, we had that in there for about an additional eight minutes. Okay, let's check on our rice. Oh, it's nice and boiling. Yeah, this is what we want. And I have it right now on a medium, kind of like a high. And you don't want to stir this up too much because you don't want your rice to get mushy. Okay, a lot of people have a tendency to want to do this. No, you want it to let it cook up. Okay, so now we're gonna turn down the heat. We're gonna go down to like a medium, now almost like a low medium heat. And then we're gonna go ahead and just cover it up, let it cook up. Let's check our rice here. Oh yeah, so everything's kind of, let me check the rice. Okay, it hasn't dried up yet. That's a good sign. And it still has about another 10 minutes, but I'm gonna add just a little bit more water. Just a little bit more. Yeah, just like that. So we don't want it to dry up. We'll go ahead and put the lid on it for a couple more minutes, and then we'll check back. Okay, so now we're gonna be making some guacamole. I went ahead and diced up 3 medium-sized tomatoes and added Lindita salsa mix to it, and I'm using the hot. You can always do the mild. And for those people that are out there that have wanting to know where you can find Linditas, if you're not, it's not in New York City or wherever you're at, you know what, just look up linditasalsa.com and you'll see all our recipes on there as well, and other shows too, because I also do cooking and do cooking classes, and I'm out there. But check us out on linditasalsa.com. And now we're gonna get started with this guacamole. The guacamole, you never know what you're gonna get when you open these up, right? So I have a backup one for this recipe just in case, right? You know what I'm talking about. And this is beautiful. Oh yeah, just like that. And to keep these fresh, you know what you do is leave them in your refrigerator for, I've actually left mine for like about a week, and it's amazing. It works, and they're fresh like this. And I've left mine out, and I took it out this morning just because I was gonna make it up for you. So I'm gonna go ahead, and I did dice it up. You can go smaller dice too. And this recipe is also on my website too. And of course, if you want to add and you want to make more, just go ahead and use another avocado and add more mix to it. So we're going to go ahead and remove that seed. We're going to go ahead and dice it. I like mine kind of chunky. You can whip it up. Whip it up real good if you want, Yeah. Just like that. Make them a smaller diced, and again, if you want to just mush it, it's up to you. Because if you like that real creamy kind of guacamole, you can do that. So this is 1 avocado. What you can do is add, I usually add about, well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know I'm going. Okay, add as much as you want as well. So you can go ahead and mix it up. Mash it up. Okay, I think I need a little bit more. Okay, so, and again, it's up to you. So don't feel that you have to just follow all the directions. Kind of make it your own as well. What you want to do, yes. I'm going to add a little lime to it, a little lime juice. I see. So because I don't use salt, so I go ahead and use the lime. And of course, your cilantro. And just because it does have a tad in there, but what you want to do is just take a little bit just for color as well and the flavor. And I love cilantro. And you know, I was telling a friend of mine about, you know, using when you get your cilantro from the store, and you get a bushel like this, right? Just like that. So what you want to do is when you come home, go ahead and I just missed it. And then I cut the bottom off and I put it in water and I stick it in the refrigerator and it lasts. I mean, it lasts for weeks. It's amazing. And I believe, so you need to try it and you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, so while this is getting ready, so we're gonna serve it up with our stacked enchiladas and our Spanish rice. Let's go check on our rice and see how it's doing. Oh yes, this is done. Looks beautiful. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and just turn it off, and then I'm just gonna put the lid on it and just crack it just like that. It'll continue to cook for a little bit, but that's it. That's all you have to do. And then we're gonna serve it up. Does this look delicious or what? And as you can see, what I've gone ahead and done is I've topped it off with some shredded lettuce and a little salsa and some sour cream. And of course, our Spanish rice, you know, just to bring back a wonderful traditional recipe of my mamacita and to showcase this is amazing. And of course, our guacamole, and look how easy that was. It was so simple. And yet, for all these recipes, just go to my website at linditasalsa.com. You can go on there and check out other shows that we have. You know, all the different ones. I mean, there's many recipes on there as well. And I want to thank Aurora TV and my viewers, and for you and all your comments and suggestions. And again, I'm so blessed, and thank you for joining us at this edition of Linditas. Until next time, salud, mis amigos.